First, we'll get set up to use UO BOD Tracker and show you how to import a couple of bulk order deeds, or BODs for short. Later on in the video, we'll go through some additional useful macros that make importing larger numbers of BODs easier. So let's get started with the setup. Here I am, logged in at uobodtracker.com, and I've gone to the My Containers page. We'll create a container named Sample for now. You'll probably want to name it the same as the book that you're tracking. Next, we'll set up a useful shortcut to where the output of the enhanced client will be saved. Open File Explorer and browse for location where you have the enhanced client installed. We're going to right-click on the Logs folder and select Create Shortcut. We'll then move the resulting shortcut to the desktop for easier access and maybe rename it to something more useful. Now, let's move over to UO. I placed a couple of bulk order deeds in a pouch here, but we'll need to set up a macro to have the client export the data for these BODs. In order to do this, we'll need to create a macro for the Export Items to File action. So first, let's click on the Macros button. Next, go to Create, and we're looking for the category under Other. Drag the Export Items to File to the hotbar. Next, we'll want to open the container with the BODs and run the Export Items to File macro. Open the log file. Control A to select all, Control C to copy. Now let's switch over to UO BOD Tracker, go to Import, select Container, Control V to paste, and finally Submit. And then we can go over to the category of BODs that we imported, and there we are. In the second part of this video, I'll go through some examples of how to use organizer agents to make dealing with BODs easier. I'll cover two scenarios for tracking BODs. First, moving BODs from one bulk order deed book to another, and second, temporarily storing BODs in containers before putting them back in a bulk order deed book. The first scenario is more suitable for when you don't have the ability to store a large number of BODs in containers, if your house is almost full, for example. For this scenario, you'll need a second bulk order deed book. Here, I have two bulk order deed books, one named Old that contains the BODs I want to track, and one named New that is empty. First, let's start by taking the BODs out of the old book. By default, the BODs will be placed in my main pack. I actually prefer the classic client, mostly because I started with it when I first played UO, so I don't consider myself an expert with the enhanced client. If anyone knows of a way to automate the removal of BODs or have them automatically drop into a container other than your main pack, please leave a comment. Okay, so now that we've removed some BODs that we want to track, we'll first set up an organizer agent to move them to a bag. First, open the main menu, click on Agent Settings, click the arrow, and select Organizer 1. Next, click the Add by Type button and select one of the types of BODs. Finally, click on Set Default Container and target the bag you wish to hold the BODs. You can also rename the organizer if you wish, though this step is optional. We can now close the Agent Settings window and run the organizer that we just created. You'll see that all the BODs are moved to the selected bag, saving a lot of the dragging back and forth. We'll now run our Export Items to File macro and track the BODs as explained previously in this video. Next, let's set up a second organizer to move all the BODs into the new bulk order deed book. Go back to the main menu and then Agent Settings. This time we're going to click the plus sign and then Add Organizer. Now, just like before, select Organizer 2 and add the types of BODs you wish to move. If you wish to filter the types of BODs into different books, this is an easy way of doing that. Only add the types of BODs you wish to move. We're going to move both tailoring and smithing BODs for now. Set the default container to the new BOD book, name the agent if you wish, and close the window. Finally, run the new organizer agent on the bag containing the BODs by right-clicking on the organizer button, selecting the second organizer, and then clicking on it to run. We're done. If you have more BODs than will fit in your pack at one time, remove BODs from the old book until your pack is full. Run the first organizer, track them, run the second organizer, and repeat until all BODs have been moved from the old book to the new book, tracking as you go. Now, in the second scenario, we'll store our BODs in containers and reuse the same bulk order deed book. We'll empty the book, filling up the containers as we go, then track each container and move the tracked BODs into our book. The organizer agents used to do this are the exact same as before, except now we'll be setting a secured container as the target for the first organizer. Actually, the container doesn't have to be secured, but I'd recommend it. As you can see, I've secured 4 backpacks here for a demo. Let's get back to our first organizer and set the default container to the first backpack. Now we'll take BODs out until our pack is full and run the organizer to transfer them to the backpack. Remember, you'll have to right-click to select the correct organizer before running it. We'll repeat this process until the first backpack is full. Let's fast forward through this part. Now, to move on to the second backpack, go back to the organizer and reset the target container. Fill the second backpack and repeat until all 4 backpacks are full and the bulk order deed is empty. Now, we open the first backpack and run the Export Items to File macro. We can start the second organizer before importing the BODs to save us some extra time. And then we repeat this until all the BODs are tracked and our bulk order deed book is full again. Thanks for watching. I hope you found the video helpful.